Let's talk about Danielle Walter again because a lot has happened since the last time we covered her. Somehow, her life decisions have gone from questionable to concerning to complete and utter nonsense, and judging by the comments, her audience is really not feeling her right now. The last time we made a video about Danielle, we talked about her relationship with a man who many people believe looks like a walking red flag. The timeline alone was enough to make people raise their eyebrows. Danielle was talking about making this man her husband just 3 months into the relationship, introduced him to her parents after only 1 month, and then uploaded a 21-part series explaining why they were so deeply in love. What made this whole thing even weirder was that not long before meeting Lucas, Danielle was giving young women the exact opposite advice. She constantly preached about taking things slow and overcoming anxious attachment. And then, this was her on the very first date with Lucas.
I'm in the bathroom of the coffee shop. This might be my husband.
The difference between her old content and everything she started posting after meeting Lucas was so dramatic that even her own audience was telling her to slow down. But none of that really matters anymore because by the time you're watching this, Danielle is getting married to Lucas this month. They've already moved in together, and to say the internet isn't thrilled would be an understatement. Between her engagement, the upcoming wedding, and her recent partnership with an MLM, there is a lot to unpack. So without wasting any more time, let's get into it. If you're somehow hearing about Danielle Walter for the first time, or you've simply forgotten how messed up her entire story is, here's a quick recap before we move ahead. Danielle Walter is a 33-year-old American influencer currently based in San Francisco. She has over 1.2 million followers on Instagram and more than 791,000 followers on TikTok. She started posting content sometime in 2022 and immediately began resonating with people on both platforms. Initially, her content consisted of mini vlogs, unboxing videos, shopping hauls, and get ready with me videos.
Hey guys, come unbox with me. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that follow button.
Okay, I literally just stood up. I come over to this little baby. I have 30 minutes to get ready, and I'm gonna take you along, having coffee so that I'm gonna make more friends stop saying no to the events that you're invited to. Filters are doing more damage to your psyche than you realize.
Danielle also converted to Christianity in her 20s and is quite religious, so a lot of her content revolved around faith and Christian lifestyle topics. At the time, many people found her content highly relatable and praised her easygoing personality and style. The first time she truly went viral, though, was in September 2022 when she posted this video.
Things as an almost 30-year-old I wish I knew when I was 25. That extra shot at the end of the night is not worth it, and you shouldn't take it. Always lay your pajamas out before you go out. You don't need to reach your goal right now. You have time. Speaking of time, you get to define who you are. You never run out of time to do that, and that can always change. The people who want to be in your life will be, and the people who don't will weed themselves out. Sometimes somebody's purpose in your life is to teach you something. As much as you try, you are not in total control of everything that happens. The best way to deal with men is actually to not.
This video, titled "Things I Wish I Knew at 25 as a 30-year-old," absolutely exploded on TikTok, receiving over 18 million views. After its success, Danielle's content shifted slightly as she leaned more into life advice and relationship advice. She created several follow-up parts to the original video and also started a series called Big Sis Advice, where she primarily offered guidance to young women navigating life and relationships.
If you are heartbroken, here's what I know as an almost 30-year-old single female. I know it hurts so bad right now. You thought your life was going to turn out one way, and now it's not. You had this picture in your mind, and in an instant, that picture vanished. Your only job right now is to keep going. Keep breathing. Just keep waking up. I need you to start operating under the pretenses that they already like you. Here's what I mean. You know when we go up to people that we don't know, or maybe we were just introduced to them, friend of a friend or whatever, and it's kind of like, hey, like awkward. And then eventually you become friends with that person, or let's say it's someone you're interested in or whatever. I need you to start going up to them and smiling as if they are your...
To be fair, a lot of her advice was actually pretty solid, and it significantly boosted her credibility among young women. One thing that's important to remember about Danielle is that she's talked extensively on her platforms about anxious attachment and limerence. If you don't know what those terms mean, think of anxious attachment as constantly worrying that someone is going to leave you. Limerence is when you become so caught up in the excitement of a new person that your brain starts writing a love story before reality has a chance to catch up. According to Danielle, she personally experiences both of these patterns in relationships, and she repeatedly encouraged young women to recognize them and work through them.
Driving in the form of compulsive daydreaming. I'm not kidding when I tell you the compulsive daydreaming is so real. When I start to like someone, date someone, whatever, it will go so as far as like me imagining their last name behind mine pretty quickly. Like, what does that sound like? Like, what?
This takes constant attention. When you feel yourself falling down the rabbit hole, you just gotta catch yourself and try a strategy. And obviously working on your anxious attachment will actually help this. Bye.
The best way to deal with men is actually to not. If you're heading into a first date, already deciding that you and this person are gonna have some sort of interaction past the first date, you should look up.
You need to know that it takes months to actually get to know someone.
Now, as time goes on, we'll watch Danielle throw almost all of this advice straight out of the window as she goes on to make some truly baffling life decisions. For instance, she started going on a lot of dates in 2023 in an effort to find her one true love. As a result, her audience was treated to a seemingly endless stream of "get ready with me for my first date" videos.
Get ready for a first date. Let's get ready for another date. Going on a first date. Let's get ready for another first date.
Let's get ready for my 6th first date this year. Let's get ready for my 7th first date of the year.
Let's get ready for my 8th first date of the year. Let's get ready for my 9th first date of the year.
Get ready for date number 6, 7, 8.
While people initially cheered her on, they gradually became frustrated as time went by and none of these dates ever seemed to go anywhere. Occasionally, there would be a second or even a third date, but nothing ever progressed beyond that. And every single time, there was the same obvious pattern. She would come back from the date and go on about how sweet and kind the guy was, how special he made her feel, and then absolutely nothing would come of it. When things kept failing to move forward despite her liking seemingly every guy she went out with, people started wondering whether she was actually the problem. And there were a few moments that only reinforced that belief. For instance, she met a guy who was a singer at one point. She liked him, and this dude was bringing her flowers, driving hours to see her, and making a clear effort to pursue her. Yet somehow Danielle claimed that going to this marathon to support him was simply too much for her.
I had said, I'm so excited for your race. And I meant, I'm excited for you for your race. But he's like, are you coming? And to me, I was like, that feels very girlfriend territory, and I've always done way too much too soon. And so for me standing on the sidelines of a marathon, cheering a man on that I've only been on a few dates with, just seemed too, not...
Many people pointed out in the comments how childish she was acting. If you're genuinely into someone and want the relationship to progress, showing up to support them shouldn't feel like such a huge sacrifice. Nonetheless, like many of the men who came after him, this relationship went nowhere. In 2024 alone, Danielle went on 26 dates and still failed to find her true love. We'd like to point out, however, that these first date videos were by far the most successful series on our channel. We're talking consistently pulling in millions of views kind of successful, which led many people to wonder whether she was intentionally keeping the cycle going for content. Anyways, 2025 arrived, and Danielle moved to San Francisco, all because she had a gut feeling that she would find her true love there.
The San Francisco thing, I feel called to go there. I can't explain it other than when I'm there, literally, you can call it your gut feeling. I call it the Holy Spirit. I just feel that I am being pulled there. And I have some inklings as to why. I have a feeling that I'm going to meet my person there.
Now, in San Francisco, she continued going on date after date, and if we're being honest, her audience was kind of done at this point. But around June 2025, she started talking about a Brazilian man she had met at the gym who happened to be a former model. She went on a first date with him, and while she was literally in the middle of that date, she turned on her camera and had this to say.
I'm in the bathroom of the coffee shop. This might be my husband.
We would hear her call this man her future husband many more times after that.
This may be it for me. This could be my husband. He is so sweet. And if I had to describe him, man of God.
So, as you can see, things escalated pretty quickly here, and people who followed Danielle were completely dumbfounded. Not too long ago, she'd been telling her audience to decenter men, focus on themselves, and take relationships slowly. People simply could not comprehend how she seemed to abandon her own advice so quickly. Everything about this man set off alarm bells for Danielle's audience. The way she talked about him made it seem like he was constantly saying all the right things and validating every feeling she had. And many people watched in real time as Danielle leaned headfirst into the very patterns of anxious attachment and limerence that she had spent her entire influencer career warning others about. And don't even get us started on this Brazilian man her audience ended up investigating. His name was Lucas, and he apparently worked as a life and fitness coach. He had the kind of personality and a social media presence that many people felt came across as overly polished and manufactured.
My name is Lucas. I'm a personal trainer, life coach, and nutritionist. And I'm inviting you to embrace this challenge with me. And together, we're gonna develop the best processes, and just a matter of time that your body will deliver to you the best results.
People made a lot of assumptions about Lucas. Many believed that since he was also trying to build a social media following and Danielle already had an established audience, he might be using her for exposure. Others argued that they could very well be using each other. There was a lot of discussion surrounding him. Literally nobody seemed to get a good vibe from Lucas. Then came the infamous 21-part documentary series on Danielle's TikTok, which ended up going massively viral, racking up nearly 40 million views. But most of the attention these videos received was negative. Many people called the series cringe, some couldn't understand why it needed to exist in the first place, and others were simply concerned for Danielle. A lot of bizarre and concerning things were said throughout these videos. For example, Danielle insisted that she still stood by all the advice she had previously given women, but that her situation was somehow different. She never really explained how.
In the past, I've said you shouldn't agree to getting into a relationship before the 3-month mark so that behavior can be proven. And I'm not going back on that in most cases. I still think that's reasonable.
I agree.
Right. But this...
She also claimed that the reason she believed Lucas was the perfect man was because his words consistently matched his actions.
I knew this was different because your words matched your actions every time.
She also more or less confirmed during this series that the two of them were already planning to get married.
That's my lovely girlfriend and future wife.
To say that this docuseries was dragged online would be an understatement. A lot of TikTok creators and YouTube commentary channels were literally going nuts over this, and they had very valid points to share.
Part that concerns me the most, the whole Danielle Walter's new boyfriend thing, and it's not, ironically, the 20-part video series that feels like a whole bunch of nothing over 3 months of dating, or the fact that they cannot go 3 days without seeing each other. Like, if you've seen my page, something to look at there. It is actually the part where she says, oh, he's my person because his words match his actions.
What could you possibly know? What advice could you possibly give? You haven't faced any challenges yet. It's been 4 months.
Well, we've established by this point that Danielle's audience wasn't exactly thrilled with her anymore. She was receiving tons of negative attention for her 21-part series on finding love, and more or less everyone had started viewing her content as reality TV entertainment rather than something serious unfolding in her life. But things became a whole lot more entertaining and absurd when Danielle announced her engagement to Lucas in March of this year, and people had plenty of opinions about that as well. The first thing you need to know about their engagement is that before Danielle even announced it on her own social media, People magazine had already published an article on March 18th revealing that the two of them were engaged, which means they sold their engagement story to People, and that immediately rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. If you're really not trying to market your life and your relationship, then why get a major news publication involved in your engagement? We want to highlight a few things mentioned in this article because they're certainly something. Danielle told the magazine that she had already communicated a timeline with Lucas, so she knew the engagement was happening in March, she just didn't know which day. When she was told to cancel a certain appointment, it tipped her off that the proposal was happening that day, so overall she knew the engagement was coming, she just didn't know how exactly it was going to happen. The article also made it seem as though the entire proposal had been planned by Lucas. This is what he told People magazine. It was the day I prepared for her, the love of my life, so my focus was for her to smile, feel peace, and have a good time. I wanted to give her the best of the best. While all of that sounds incredibly romantic and picture perfect, a lot of people simply didn't buy the idea that Lucas had planned the entire proposal by himself, and honestly, we agree that there's a good chance he didn't. For instance, the engagement ring was created by a company called Dallas Diamond Bar, which was mentioned in the People article. The company also later commented on Danielle's engagement post, which immediately screams partnership. And if that's true, Danielle probably knew about it ahead of time, and Lucas likely didn't have to pay a dime for the ring. On March 20th, after the People article was published, Danielle uploaded a series of videos from her engagement day. She looked beautiful, the location was stunning, and the overall vibe was undeniably gorgeous. But the audience couldn't get past Danielle's reaction because she acted as if she had absolutely no idea what was happening. She seemed shocked by almost everything.
Get ready with me to get engaged. Okay, so the first part of this is obviously like, how do I know it's going to be today? We have been talking about our timeline since probably, I think, the second or third month of dating. Just kind of felt like we knew. And so what we decided on was we would get engaged in March, which would have been 9 months of dating. In terms of the specific day, I had a couple appointments that Lucas was like, you need to reschedule those. I feel really good. I've been instructed not to get dressed yet, and that there will be a place to get dressed.
Who knows which place, what we're going to do.
Wow, honey. Where are we? Oh, we are going to the Ritz-Carlton. Okay. Wow, honey. Okay, I'm about to get engaged. We did it.
According to Danielle, she didn't know about the location, the exact day, or any of the details, so naturally she was surprised, but people weren't convinced that she had no involvement in planning it. Most agreed it was far more likely that since her relationship had become a full-fledged content piece on her channel, her management team had stepped in and helped organize the entire proposal. The comments under her videos were brutal. I don't know any details. Babe, you know everything that's happening. LOL, I bet you were very shocked after planning everything. You coordinated with People magazine. Like, girl, please be so for real. The fake shocked reaction to the Ritz is killing me. To be fair, things became even more confusing when the actual engagement video was released. It was beautiful, but it was also incredibly polished. There were cinematic drone shots, and we're not even kidding when we say they were both wearing microphones.
Prepared by God, from the first smile to yesterday, we are doing this, and we choose doing this place.
Hold in different directions, plant us, ground us.
People were genuinely confused here. Like, why are you mic'd up for your own proposal? But that wasn't the only thing that made people uncomfortable. The moment Lucas got down on one knee and proposed also unsettled a lot of viewers. He initially said something along the lines of, "Will you be my bride, my baby?" Danielle then muttered something under her breath, after which he changed it to, "Will you marry me?" And she said yes.
Will you be my bride, my baby? Yes, will you marry me?
A lot of people felt the chemistry between them was practically non-existent. Many found it odd that Lucas didn't really say anything heartfelt about Danielle before getting down on one knee. We mean, if you're spending thousands of dollars on a proposal like this, you'd think you'd take a moment to tell your future fiancé why you love her before asking the question. Instead, he just went straight to the proposal. Overall, their engagement received just as much backlash as the 21-part documentary series. By this point, many people believed Danielle was literally trying to orchestrate the perfect relationship for her audience. Since people had been criticizing her for rushing into this relationship, it felt like she was trying to prove everyone wrong by saying, "Look how amazing he is. He planned all of this for me and everything is perfectly fine." Meanwhile, the audience was reading between the lines. Their proposal video gave TikTok a good laugh for a while.
Is this real? Tell me this is real, honey. You planned all of this, honey? Wow. Wow. I really hope everyone watching are not sponsored at all and completely genuine and not for money's sake proposal video with their cameras turned the...
One thing we want to point out is that Danielle has appeared completely out of touch with reality ever since she met Lucas. And the biggest example of that is this video where she claims she kept her engagement private from the internet because she was trying to live in the moment.
Number 2 is, as I said before, I have been holding on to engagement content and sort of just like living in the moment and not prioritize.
Well, we don't know what dictionary she's using, but living in the moment definitely doesn't include recording your entire engagement from the drive to the venue to the actual proposal, having microphones attached to your outfits, and turning everything from the ring to the proposal itself into content. Interestingly, she also uploaded a video answering questions about her engagement ring. And let's just say it's more or less confirmed that the ring was free, courtesy of a sponsor, and Lucas didn't even pick it out himself.
Hi, today I'm going to answer all the ring questions because I know there's been a lot of speculation here. I didn't really know what I wanted when it came to a ring, and so I needed a team who could help me make those decisions. Knowing what our timeline was, we started searching for a team that could provide all of that, the guidance, the education, and also the experience that we wanted. We talked to, I want to say 6 to 8 different companies around the country and chose Dallas Diamond Bar for very specific reasons. Number 1, it is a small women-owned team. There's 3 women that are incredible that run this business. Taylor, Abby, and Jolie were just incredible to work with. Over 10 years of experience and are just so knowledgeable, but it also feels like you're shopping with your friends. Said, I would love to come in there and finish everything in one day. I would love to go and have just a row of diamonds that we can go through together and look at and determine what is best. And when I got there, they literally had that. We walked through one by one. I think we went through 10 to 15 diamonds of different shapes, deciding between elongated cushion and an oval. And that day, they guided me through all the decisions that I needed. First, we picked the diamond, then we decided between gold and silver. I was pretty positive I was gonna go with gold. The setting, the band. I wanna say I tried on like 30 bands, and the band part was actually the easiest for me. Really, really like it. It is east-west.
Do you know what's interesting about this video? Danielle claimed that when she walked into the jewelry store, she had no idea what kind of ring she wanted. Well, people later found her Pinterest board and where she had picked out her dream ring months in advance, and in fact, the engagement ring and the one on her Pinterest board titled Lucas look almost identical. So, are you still sure, Danielle, that this entire engagement was Lucas's planning? Because it looks pretty obvious from this video that you planned most of the proposal yourself, and Lucas just showed up at the venue and read his lines. Another interesting thing to mention is that even though this video looked like an ad, Danielle never disclosed it as one. The platform eventually placed a community note over the video stating that it contained an undisclosed advertisement. At this point, it's almost a no-brainer that their entire relationship is being presented as reality TV content and the audience is consuming it exactly like that. As fascinated as people are by Danielle's apparent attachment from reality, they're equally fascinated by Lucas, who, to be honest, a lot of people find pretty cringy. He presents himself as this masculine leader and fitness coach, constantly giving men dating advice that to many viewers just comes across as fake. Everything about this man screams manufactured and alarming.
A man serves a woman financially, emotionally, and physically. Beyond of having an incredible relationship, he also changed. He also got more sensitive. He also got better as a human being, you know. Every time we serve as a man, we are killing our ego. It's my ego that I need to kill. Every day. I have a queen now, I have a princess. I'm gonna serve my queen, my family, my parents, my sister in the way that God wants me to serve them. Not in my way, not in the way I'm Lucas, but in the God's way.
Many people believe he's in on all of this because he's after a green card. He's Brazilian, and people online have claimed that he overstayed his visa, meaning he may or may not be in the United States illegally. But based on some information that's been making the rounds recently, his immigration status might actually be the least of people's concerns. For instance, it came to light that Lucas had previously dated Miss Brazil, Teresa Santos, when she was only 15 years old, while he was reportedly 20. According to people discussing it online, they remained in a relationship for more than 7 years.
So, Lucas was engaged to Miss Brazil. Teresa Santos. They had a super bad ending to the relationship. Apparently, he also started dating her when she was 15 and he was 20.
While dating a 15-year-old may not have been illegal in Brazil, since the age of consent there is 14, it still rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Around the same time, a woman also came forward on Reddit sharing screenshots and claiming that Lucas had once been her Uber driver. She alleged that he flirted with her during the ride, asked for her number, and later messaged her asking if she wanted to grab coffee. This revelation also made people reevaluate Danielle and Lucas's story about how they met. Not many of her followers were convinced they had simply met at a gym. After this Reddit post, some people began speculating that Lucas may have actually been Danielle's Instacart driver, and that's how they first met. But while all of this is great and has kept TikTok in a chokehold, how they actually met doesn't really matter anymore because things in Danielle and Lucas's relationship have been moving at lightning speed. After the engagement, people expected Danielle to take a bit of a break before diving into wedding planning. But nope. Almost immediately after getting engaged, her audience was bombarded with major life updates, wedding planning videos, and a constant stream of content about her upcoming wedding. The first major announcement came in May, when Danielle told her audience that the wedding was just around the corner and that she and Lucas were moving in together. Not only that, but they were also moving back to San Jose, where Danielle originally lived.
Hi. I've been MIA, so it's time for a catch up. Okay, the first thing that is kind of crazy is that we are starting wedding planning, and we're getting married very soon. Like very, because I think the theme that we're going for is like old Hollywood or classic, vintage, old Hollywood style. And I've made a board, a Pinterest board, and that's pretty much as far as we've gotten. We have the date and we have the Pinterest board, and I have hired on a wedding planner, which thank God for her. And we've realized that we are not city people and will not be staying in San Francisco. I gave myself a year here and I have not gotten out and explored and done all the things that I wanted to do. I'm a homebody and I love being at home. I love hosting at home. I love having friends over, but I'm not the girl that like goes out and does all of the adventurous things. I'm just not. Like if I'm invited to something, I will go and it will be a fun time. Or if I have extra mental bandwidth, I can plan something out, but it's just mind. So we are going to be looking for houses in the next few months. Our goal is to have something as soon as possible, which means there is a potential. I don't know if it will happen this way. It will have to be a God thing, that we will move into a house in the next couple months, or like I said, as soon as possible, meaning I would be moving out of the dollhouse apartment entirely. So we're peeling off all the wallpaper and going to wherever is next for us. We're together all the time, but we don't live together. So, and then as some of you know, I have my place in San Jose that I own, that has some of my things there and furniture. So it would be moving out of 2 places, actually moving out of 3 places, because 2 of mine and 1 of his, and then moving into...
Since Danielle already owned a house in San Jose and was suddenly talking about getting another one, many people assumed she would end up selling her old house to fund the new one. And people were genuinely concerned for her. Her audience flooded the comments, begging her to recognize the red flags, urging her to sign a prenup, and warning her not to rush into everything. A lot of viewers were also confused by how quickly the wedding was being planned. She was organizing a wedding and moving houses at the exact same time. People kept asking, why not just settle into your new home with Lucas first, then start planning the wedding? It would make the whole process a lot less rushed. Now, we obviously can't say this for certain, but for many people, the reason behind the rushed wedding seems pretty obvious. They believed Danielle and Lucas needed to get married as quickly as possible so Lucas could get his green card. Again, we can't confirm any of this, but it's a theory that's become increasingly common online. Another thing that's been incredibly odd about Danielle's content lately is that she's doing almost everything by herself. Sure, Lucas appears in her videos from time to time, but he's nowhere to be seen whenever she's actually making decisions about the wedding or the house. And that's really strange. She's recently uploaded multiple videos about shopping for her wedding dress.
We are going to a sample sale to try on wedding dresses for the first time. Is it here? Oh, here we go.
I am trying on wedding dresses potentially for the first time today, so let's get dressed.
We're going dress shopping. My best friend is on her way here as we...
Now, it's perfectly understandable not to have your groom with you while you're shopping for a wedding dress, but what people found odd was that he also wasn't there when she was house hunting, putting in offers on a home, or even touring wedding venues.
Let's go yesterday. Was there all day yesterday, part of today. Now I'm back here today because I have a couple appointments tomorrow, including going to see a house that, of all the houses that I've looked up, this is the one that I'm like, oh, I really want it. So I'm very excited about that. But yeah, back in San Jose.
We're on our way to tour wedding venues. We have 4 tours set up and I'm really, really excited. This is the general vibe that we're going for. I want like very classic, old Hollywood, timeless, sort of like rich red vintage style. So we're hoping to find a venue that already has elements like that. So there's not too much lift going on. So here we go. Room. Yeah.
All of this is incredibly strange because Lucas talks nonstop about being the masculine leader in a relationship and leading his woman, yet whenever his future wife is making huge life decisions, buying a house, searching for wedding venues, or planning the wedding, he's nowhere to be found. It really does seem like, just as with the engagement, Danielle is planning and organizing the wedding almost entirely on her own. This would also be a good time to bring up her Disney princess-inspired bridal shower. Her best friend, Sheila, who has appeared in several of Danielle's wedding dress shopping videos and is supposedly going to be her maid of honor through the event. And people found her speech at the shower particularly interesting.
I would like to raise a toast to our very special dear friend. I wasn't planning on saying anything other than just giving a toast, so. Do a whole speech. Oh yes! Speech! First of all, she looks gorgeous. Anyways, thank you for all of you guys for being here to help celebrate Danielle. She obviously has a very short window with this wedding, so we want to make sure that we give her this time in her life and in this season of being a bride,
Yes.
and send her out as a bride.
Oh, truly.
So, even her best friend acknowledged that Danielle had an incredibly and suspiciously short timeline for getting married. People also had plenty to say about the event on Danielle's Reddit snark page. Many pointed out that the speech didn't feel personal or heartfelt at all. Others found it odd that Lucas wasn't mentioned even once. The entire speech focused on helping Danielle become a bride rather than celebrating the couple together. On top of that, Sheila didn't even post a single thing about the bridal shower on her own social media, apart from one video in which Danielle wasn't even visible. Now, between Danielle constantly talking about her wedding timeline, shopping for dresses, and renting a brand new house in San Jose, she ended up losing nearly 10,000 followers in the month of June alone. Which tells you one thing: people were getting tired. Interestingly, around the same time, Danielle also started a new series about going from type B to type A. According to her, over the past 2 years, her type B tendencies had gotten completely out of control. Basically, her house was a mess, her mind was a mess, so she decided it was finally time to become type A again.
Doing an experiment where I try to live as a type A person would, or at least what I think that looks like, in an effort not to live in a constant mess both literally and mentally, as my type B tendencies have gotten out of control to the point of disaster. It's not that I want to be super rigid and more prone to stress, per the Google search definition of type A. It's just that I want to care more about the details of my life. I need to care more. It's day one, and instead of telling you everything I did, I'm going to tell you what I thought about.
Now, here's the thing. A lot of people watched these videos and immediately went, Danielle, I don't think you're describing being type B. What she's describing, honestly, sounds a lot more like someone who's completely overwhelmed.
Everything I did, I'm going to tell you what I thought about. Honestly, all I've got for you is how tired I am. I didn't expect this to be an overnight thing, but my goodness, is it exhausting caring about everything. All of you type A people out there, please chime in. Does it ever get any easier? Does it ever make you less tired making sure that everything is always done? Maybe I'm just having a bad day because I'm feeling overwhelmed, but my goodness.
For a moment, think about everything that's happening in her life right now. She's moving out of her dollhouse, she's cleaning her old San Jose house, she's moving in with Lucas, she's planning a wedding, and every single step of that journey is being filmed for millions of people who are going to pause, zoom in, overanalyze, and pick apart every little detail. That's a lot. People have also noticed a pretty visible shift in Danielle herself. When she first started posting content, she had this really calm, easygoing energy about her. She could literally film herself organizing groceries, making coffee, or walking through Target and somehow make it feel relaxing. Fast forward to now, and she just looks exhausted and tired. Now, to be fair, this could be a complete reach. She might be doing absolutely fine, but enough people have noticed the change that it's become a pretty common discussion. Which brings us to a very obvious question. Where is Lucas in all of this? You know, the body leader? His fiancé is cleaning 2 houses, packing up her life, hunting for a new rental, planning a wedding, filming content every single day, and has literally started an entire series about struggling to keep everything together. Meanwhile, Lucas is posting videos like this.
Good morning, good morning. How are you doing? Today is a beautiful day, Monday.
For someone who talks nonstop about leading the relationship and embracing masculine energy, he seems remarkably absent whenever there's actual leading to be done. And it's honestly kind of bizarre. The newest update in Danielle's world is that after weeks of building suspense around it, she's finally moved into a brand new house with her future husband. And this place is absolutely massive. The two of them even uploaded a video dancing around every single room in the house in the most performative way imaginable, and then they quietly deleted it, probably because they realized just how unbelievably cringy and flashy it looked. Someone actually tracked down the listing for the house and wrote this. I've been tracking the rentals since she mentioned they applied and was able to get the details. Clearly, with 5 bedrooms and 5 en-suite bathrooms, there's enough room for them to consummate the marriage, his parents to move in, plus have a private office for her, one for Hannah, and a cult headquarters office for the body leader. There's a 6th bathroom. It's a new build in an older neighborhood, so in her consistent overconsumption pattern, she'll have the biggest house, 4,000 square foot on the block, and in type B fashion, she'll be able to ruin all the brand new appliances and fixtures. There's an exterior entrance to one of the bedrooms, which could be ideal for parents, nanny, or you name it. It's a lovely home. Buckle up, walnuts, for the $12,000 a month content. Honestly, this Redditor might have a point. Because this move doesn't really feel like it was about necessity, it feels like content. Danielle already owned a perfectly nice house in San Jose, so instead of moving back there, she rented an even bigger house and then immediately filmed herself running through every room of it, which basically translates to, "Guys, look how huge my new rental is." Oh, and we almost forgot to mention one tiny little detail. The move itself was sponsored. A moving company literally partnered with Danielle and helped her move out of both her previous homes.
It is officially moving day. Roadway is here packing up the entire San Francisco apartment and San Jose and moving everything into the new house. I actually didn't know this, but Roadway has full service packing and unpacking, so that's what we opted for and move.
With the upcoming wedding, there's literally no way I could have done that myself, which is why I'm so grateful to Roadway.
With all of that out of the way, it's also about time we talk about Danielle's newest controversy. And honestly, this one might be the funniest. Danielle has recently partnered with a skincare company called Rodan and Fields. Now, that probably doesn't sound like a big deal until you find out Rodan plus Fields built its business around an MLM model. If you don't know what an MLM is, it's a business where people don't just make money by selling products, they're also encouraged to recruit other people beneath them. The model has been controversial for years because most participants end up making very little money while the people at the top benefit the most. So yes, Danielle is now promoting one. She's gone on trips with the company, visited their headquarters, and lately her content has started looking more like Rodan plus Fields advertisements than wedding content.
That is improvement in the skin.
First thing we're going to demo is the process of making a cream. What are your percentages and your ratios?
Walking out with my... Thank you. Oh, really? Thank you. Sweet. Look at the view. We are going to get matched with a skincare regimen by Rodan.
This normally wouldn't be that big of a deal, except Danielle herself used to be extremely outspoken against MLMs.
I'm letting you no. I'm letting you know right now, for all of you MLM girlies, I'm not the one. I'm not the one to try. Don't try me. Don't try me with an MLM. Don't come up to me complimenting me, giving me a fake compliment in Target. I'm seeing this on my For You page. Don't try me. No, I don't want to be a part of your MLM. I can't even say it. MLM. I feel bad because clearly you being in this, you don't understand what it is. And I also feel very protective over my fellow girlies who are not MLM girlies that are going to Target trying to buy their things, and then you giving them a fake compliment to open a conversation, them thinking, oh, I'm finally making a friend because we all want to make friends, and then trying to tell them how they can be financially free like your friends who are 28 and retired.
This is literally where things get really awkward because Danielle didn't just casually say she wasn't a fan of MLMs, she went after them. Rodan plus Fields announced in 2024 that they were moving away from the traditional MLM model toward a more affiliate-based program, but that doesn't change the fact that the company spent years operating as an MLM, and that's exactly the business model Danielle used to criticize. Interestingly enough, she didn't stop at making one TikTok either. After posting that video, she uploaded an Instagram story doubling down on her opinion, and this is what she wrote. I can't believe I even have to say this, but here we are. Apparently some people were upset with my recent post. Here's what I have to say. I have a platform where I can share my opinion, and my opinion is that any business that has to recruit other people rather than relying on the value of the products or services is not legitimate. Why else would that model be necessary? This is just logic. Do not DM me to try to convince me otherwise. Just because the video expresses my opinion on MLMs, which may be different than your opinion, doesn't make it in poor taste. At no point was I making fun of people in MLMs. There also wasn't a single untrue thing said in the video. There is so much research on this topic that this is quite frankly indisputable. I am cool with you being in an MLM, even if I don't want that for myself or anyone I know. Well, that's a little awkward because those aren't old tweets from 10 years ago. Danielle posted this story in 2024 saying in her own words that MLMs aren't legitimate businesses, and now she's a brand ambassador for one. It's honestly pretty hypocritical, but then again, this isn't exactly the first time Danielle has gone against her own advice. At this point, it's almost become part of the brand. She tells people one thing and then does the complete opposite. We've honestly reached the point where nothing Danielle does is surprising anymore. Her life doesn't even feel like influencer content at this stage. It feels like another season of 90 Day Fiancé or a TLC reality show where every episode somehow manages to become more chaotic than the last. If you scroll through her TikTok today, most of the comments are either people criticizing her or making jokes about whatever she's posted. At the time we're making this video, Danielle is set to marry Lucas in July. And with that, you're now caught up on everything that's happened in Danielle Walter's life so far. At the end of the day, we don't think Danielle is some vile influencer. We think she's a woman who's become completely obsessed with the idea of having the perfect love story, and somewhere along the way, she started treating her life like content first and reality second, and honestly, that's what makes this whole situation so fascinating to watch. The craziest part is that we're probably not even at the peak of the chaos yet, because Danielle's wedding is happening this month, and if her engagement, 21-part docuseries, and MLM drama were juicy, we can only imagine what the wedding content is going to look like. So trust us, there will be plenty more videos on this saga. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update on Danielle Walter's life.